Woo, that's dope. Okay. I was like, that started over. Okay. And recording. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on the time that you're watching this. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're here to talk with City Council candidate Drew Keaton L. We're going to discuss various aspects of improving Springfield to make it an attractive place for families, promote affordable housing, encourage business partnerships, create safer communities, and most importantly, how to create opportunities for young people and their families. So I'm on with Drew Keaton. Drew, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's good to be here, man, especially on a platform that's for us, by us, and one that's going to tell the truth. The reason why I say that, I gotta say this. I was quoted in a reminder. I picked it up today. I was quoted as saying something I never said.
Oh, really?
It's like, it was crazy. I never said it that way in the interview. So I want to give. Let me do this. I know, you know how me and D, when we get together, man, I really appreciate you. I want to give you all the kudos for, the forefront of the media aspects of creating these podcasts, this information with the newspaper and getting to the bottom of the stories and never misquoting the people that you're interviewing. So I want to give you kudos and shout out for that, because that's a real art form, to never twist and turn people's words and to keep it real, man. So appreciate you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So let's talk about you. Who is Drew Keaton now?
Drew Keaton now is just a regular person, man. Born and raised in the city of Springfield, Massachusetts. I love my city. I heard you in the opening, you talked about living in Springfield, don't live here no more. That's like weird even hearing that D.Moss doesn't live in Springfield anymore, because I know you was the face and the staple of the community at one point. But product of the public school systems, went to technical high. I did earn a bachelor's degree at St. Thomas Aquinas College. But Springfield is me, man. I mean, I've been in this area for a long time. I mean, I've seen the good of Springfield. I've seen the positive of Springfield. And it's just an opportunity as me running for this seat at large is to make a difference in the city of Springfield, the city I love. So you all know I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway for this city. But to be in these positions and these opportunities is more about the resources and really finding where those resources are, so I can help people achieve their goals, myself, and also to enhance the life of citizens in this city.
Okay. People talk about, typically we'll vote for elected officials or candidates who have never been involved in community development in any capacity, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's community development, whether it's youth development, athletics, whatever the case may be. We have a number of candidates who have popped up. We have 21 candidates running for Springfield City Council at large right now. Right. Many of whom who have never done anything for the city of Springfield, their communities, or their neighborhoods. Talk about some of the things that you've done, because you've come with a long storied history of creating opportunities and making things happen in Springfield. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, that's a good question. And for me, so when I came back to Springfield, I was affiliated with Pa Musa Pan African American Museum downtown in Springfield, and I was one of the facilitators with the Rites of Passage program, where we work with ages from groups from the ages of 12 to 16, and we were basically teaching them about their history. So on the beginning of me coming back into Springfield, integrating myself back, because when you leave and for 10 years and you come back, the times, the lands change, everything has changed. Even people that you went to school with have left and stuff. So it's really navigating around and who's who. So in between that time, with the rites of passage, started meeting community leaders such as yourself and other people, that cared about the community. Been involved with organization called the Crew for a minute now. That we do numerous things. We do what is asked of us to do. People ask, well, what does the Crew do? What is asked of us? I mean, that encompasses everything. I mean, we help seniors. We help individuals that have fundraise. They're looking for fundraisers. They're looking to get their organizations start. So we're like a full body organization. We help people get their nonprofits off the ground, and we support people in the community. On top of that, and as myself as the co-founder and D.Moss as the founder of the Indie Soul Festival, for 15 plus years with the Springfield Indie Soul Festival, is bringing a cultural sound, arts and music festival to the city of Springfield, which is key and crucial. I mean, we have a lot of festivals, but to deal with a cultural aspect, there's no one that touches that in the city of Springfield. And you can argue that, and I'm just saying, we've been doing this for a long time. On before that, with probably 10 years before that, or 5 years or 10 years before that, of entertainment in the city of Springfield. Well, my body, before that, when I did come back, I was the reentry supervisor for the state of Massachusetts Department of Corrections. So I have a well knowledge of the reentry system. Right now, I currently I am the president, actually, of the CAB, the Advisory for Drug Court, the Community Advisory Board for Drug Court. They just named me the president of that. So, which is a tall task too. And it's one of the things that I'm very, very proud of. And we have a lot of inequities and a lot of inequalities in the court systems. And I think they put the right person as the president in charge of that. So I can go on and on and on and on. That's just me in a nutshell. I know I forgot a few things, but that's just me in a nutshell.
Everyone, I know, specifically the Black community, everyone knows who you are. You're a household name because of the amount of volunteerism that you engage in, and I think that's really important. So you said you're from Springfield, and you love your city. Tell me what it is that you love about Springfield. Why do you love Springfield? Part one. Part two, why do you feel it's important to give back? I mean, why do you sacrifice so much of your own personal time and your personal space to give back to the city of Springfield?
Well, I mean, even with this, and I don't mean to keep bringing D.Moss up, but even meeting people like D.Moss and James Lewis and all of these people in entertainment business, and then meeting people that are doing great work out there in the substance abuse, like the brothers over there at ADMA, African Diaspora. It's a community that grew up together, but it's also solid brothers that moved into the area that really care about Springfield. I mean, their body of work speaks for itself. And my whole purpose really is for the youth. Is for them to experience things that I didn't experience, and for them to get a jump and a head start. Because if I've known what I know now at the age of 12 or 13 years old, and we do have that knowledge out there, just imagine where we would be. So it's really about the youth and spreading the knowledge to the youth and giving back. I mean, I truly want everybody to succeed, especially our youth, especially the people also that look like us. I really want them to see, because there's many opportunities in the city of Springfield. There's many resources in the Springfield, but it's the funny thing about it is we're at the bottom end of it, and we shouldn't be at the bottom end of it. So if I can make a difference in that aspect, that's why I'm not only running for the city council, but that's why I'm going to continue to do the work I do.
Okay. So you talk about being at the bottom, all this plethora of resources throughout the city. Would you say that the biggest challenge for disenfranchised communities, specifically the Black community, would you say the biggest challenge is access to those opportunities?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Access, the knowing, the wearing, the ability to apply for them.
Okay,
Definitely, that's the number one. That's the number one. I mean, as you know, there's a lot of resources in this city.
absolutely.
And I've said that already. I've said that already. But the opportunity for us to be involved and to make a difference. They talk about this word. It's funny. They talk about this word stakeholders.
Okay,
What is a stakeholder? A stakeholder is what? Because you make a certain amount of money or you are a decision maker. Everybody is a stakeholder. Everybody is a stakeholder. So
okay,
therefore, everybody should have the same opportunities as a person that considers themselves that make this amount of money or is an elite group. You know, and as you've known in the city of Springfield, the stakeholders and the decision makers have been making bad decisions for people.
okay. So, just for the record, stakeholders are people who affect or can be affected by business. Community stakeholders include neighborhoods, community development groups, environmental organizations, development organizations, citizen associations, and non-governmental organizations. So, just by virtue of the fact that you live in Springfield, you love your city, you put in God knows how many man hours into the city of Springfield. That also makes you a stakeholder. So, when we say, that becomes a concern. Is the issue that Black stakeholders are not considered valuable assets to the city of Springfield, whereas folks, non-Black folks are strongly considered stakeholders and are considered when it comes down to resources and access. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, it kind of. I mean, you're also hearing that is a stakeholders. What is the benefit and what is the agenda of the stakeholder as well too?
Right.
What is the benefit and what is the agenda? Like you mentioned before, business community, um, community groups, access. That's not a level playing field. It's not a level playing field because if you have a meeting that involves stakeholders, that encompass every single person in this city. Am I correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Correct.
So there's a little uneven playing field. There's a lot of favoritism going on. And this is not to call anybody out. Just change the narrative of what you say a stakeholders is. Because any concerned citizen could be a stakeholder, especially if it's something valuable or something that they can make a difference in the community.
Absolutely. Okay. So, as a city councilor, oh, look, I'm jumping the gun. Tell me what, with all that being said, why are you running for city council?
Well, besides it's my birthright and I pay taxes. I'm running
Mhm.
because I mean I think I can make I think I can well I think I will make a difference. I'm making a difference. I grew up in the city of Springfield. I love the city of Springfield. And once again, I want to the people that are disenfranchised, the equity issues that we have in the city of Springfield. I want to be pointed out to where most of the resources are. And I want to divvy them out equally if I'm in that opportunity. As one of the functions of a city councilor is to approve the financial budget of the city.
Correct.
So, and to improve the financial budget of the city, obviously, where certain funds go and what's going on. And I'm not one person to just vote on things just to vote this way or anything. I want to know where things are going, where money is being spent, and is downtown a priority? Why isn't down Mason Square a priority? I want to know things like this so we can actually, um, you know, spread the funds out equally and the opportunities out equally in the city of Springfield.
Okay, so that's a major concern for you, making sure that folks have access across the city unequivocally. Correct.
Yes, major concern.
Okay. So let
Without
me
that,
ask you.
I just can I add to that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I want to add to that because without equity and funding and equality and opportunities, um, you can't fight gun violence. You know, you can't fight the homeless issues. You can't tackle certain things, the issues with the senior citizens, transportation. There are organizations that if they were brought to the table in the city of Springfield, and that's one of the things as a city councilor that I'm gonna make sure that these organizations are downtown in these meetings and people know who they are. That if you bring the grassroots organizations to the tables, all wounds, I'm not going to say you're going to heal everything, but you can get to some of these challenges and some of these problems that we face. So they need to be at the table. And I think that's what's really missing in the city of Springfield.
Okay. I know during my 12 years of working under Mayor Sarno, I made a point of making sure that we had all types of cultural-based activities right dead smack in City Hall with the Violence Prevention Task Force. We met right there in City Hall. Any type of challenges come up in any of the 17 neighborhoods, instead of us going there, I was made a point of trying to bring them to City Hall. You're looking at recreating that and doing the same thing and making sure that their voices are heard and make sure they understand that they own a piece of City Hall and that they are valuable there. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, before I even elected, I'm a constituent. So if I go in, I just elected official with a title that still owes the constituents answers. So of course, I mean, I'm going in as I'm not a politician. And I say that it's funny though. I hear a lot of people saying that now. But I'm not a politician. I'm really not. I'm just a constituent that's concerned and wants to make a difference because I'm going in as a constituent and I'm going to have a title as a constituent. So that's a big difference than going in as a politician or going in because you might get free health care or going in because, certain things are why you're doing it, or going in because somebody coerced you to go in and do this. And hey, we need more yes votes down there. That's not why I'm going in.
Okay, so right now we presently have 13 city council seats, correct?
Correct.
And historically, we've had a number of professional politicians, professional candidates, or we had individuals who were going there strictly for the sake of enhancing their community identity, their popularity, whatever the case may be. The process has become more about personality than process itself. And the process means doing what you're talking about, holding the mayor and his administration accountable, overseeing the work that city departments are doing, providing oversight for the city budget, zoning and ordinance changes. And it's crazy because over the years, I've seen people they'll do their job effectively, but you never see them out in the neighborhoods. Do you plan on taking City Hall out into the neighborhoods at times? I know we talked previously about bringing folks into City Hall, but have you given consideration once you become a city councilor to take City Hall out into the neighborhoods? A lot of folks don't have time to go downtown. We know that parking is very expensive and limited downtown. So I don't recall when the last time was that they actually had a town hall meeting in the neighborhoods, or city council meetings in the neighborhoods, so that they can increase engagement and participation. Would that be a consideration for you?
Man, that's a great question because you're absolutely right. People go on the campaign trail and they talk a lot of game. Like I even heard last night, well, we're going to do town hall meetings. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. Me, I'll vow to do that. I'll do that. I've seen you work in City Hall. I've seen Denise work, Jordan work. I've seen tireless how you guys went into communities and did city halls. You did, once again, stakeholder. You did meetings. You tried to put coalitions together and stuff. I mean, I learned from the best. I learned from y'all. So, I mean, it's just a 9 to 5 working downtown, or if you want to call a 8 to 4, 8 to 12 when you're in these meetings. But you should bring the issues to the people, and you should have town hall meetings. I mean, people have town hall meetings when the issues array and they're out of control. We should have town hall meetings on a regular basis. Now, I'm not here to say that I don't guarantee you every week we're gonna be doing town hall meetings, because that's realistically not gonna happen. But we're gonna get to the bottom of the issues. And I mean, if we're dealing with mental health, why don't we have these issues? Why don't we have these town hall meetings? Of case in point, in November, actually we moved it back. Let's take it back. I was trying to do a criminal justice conference to bring in people from all across the country. So we've moved that back to this April, and that already, whether I'm in City Hall or not, we are bringing a criminal justice conference to the city of Springfield. So as my body of work will speak for itself, I will be out amongst my, constituents. I'm a social butterfly, so I can't be confined to any walls and any rooms because that's just not how I operate.
Okay. All right, I like that. Other question. You mentioned, you touched on gun violence. Let's talk about the wave of violence that it hit the city again. A lot of people are speaking on it as if it's, something new. And it's this surge of violence that we have to deal with. Whereas if you look at the data over the last 10 to 15 years, the numbers have been pretty consistent, somewhere between 18 and 22 murders per year. And that's only the murders. That's not taking into
Right.
account the violent assaults, assault and battery with weapons, rapes. There's been a few child abductions. There are things happening on a regular basis. Can you speak a little bit on the root cause for that? And then as a city council, although it's out of the purview of city council, I think at times there's too much pressure, regardless of who the mayor is, too much pressure put on the mayor of a city and not enough put on other elected officials who are also voted into office by the residents. Can you talk about the crime in the city of Springfield? Root
I, I,
causes,
I would agree.
possible.
I agree with your last statement. We put a lot of onus on the mayor and not enough on other elected officials. But I do want to say this: if the mayor is flouting a pocketbook and flouting a rainy day fund and how much money you have, then he should be accountable for it. Especially when you're not bringing the right organizations to the table. That's one.
Okay.
Two, the city councilors, you can't blame. I can't blame all of them. Some of them are just not going to do that work. That's not what they're in there for. They're not going to do that work. And so I want to say this. We have, and it goes back to equity. You have to put the right organizations in place. There's organizations right now that the city of Springfield partner with. They always partner with, and you get the same results over and over and over. And like you said, this is nothing new in the city of Springfield. To me, it's just a hot topic because it's campaign season right now, and people are
Correct.
jumping on it now. Topic, public
Absolutely.
safety. This is something new in the city of Springfield. We always had issues. And it's just certain, and we know where the issues are in the city because this is not happening in certain areas of the city. Last night I was asked, I'm going to answer the question too. I'm just saying, last night I was asked about downtown, and I told them I live downtown. Downtown is good. What about Mason Square, and what about these other areas? And I'm serious about that. We need more. I mean, you got African diaspora. I will give them props. We need, if there can be other organizations to come in and provide mental health. We need more programming. I know back in the day, you guys were running programs out of MLK centers, nonstop programs with Shannon Grant effort money, running them out of, and they're still running programs, but it needs to be more resources put in to these after school programs and these programs that deal with our youth. And it always don't have to be targeted on gun violence. There are other issues that kids may face. It's not just gun violence. I mean, you do, and what I'm hearing too, I just want to say this, what I'm hearing too is, every time there's an issue, there's always the rally of the troops. And then you want to militarize the city of Springfield, but you already know what areas they're going to put all the military and all the troops in. So that right there is falseness, because you can't throw a band-aid on an issue and then you target a community because you think all the violence in there and you're thinking you're stopping violence. Okay, no, that's not what you do. You get more troops on the ground and community policing. Most of these police, half of them should live in the city of Springfield. Residency is a big issue when it comes to violence. Okay, because if I live 3 houses and I'm a police officer right from D.Moss, and I know D.Moss have troubled youth in the house, do you think they're going to be showing out if I live 3 houses down? Probably not. If you're shopping at Walmart and you see the police officers and you see people that put on the blue uniform, or even the firefighters put on the uniform, are you going to be, you're going to be, hey, engaging with the people? So I think that needs to happen when it comes to violence, the whole community. And then you definitely have to include the business community, because the business of the community are going to protect their assets, and they also need to be at the table when it comes to what organizations that they can even put money into or that can help the situation. So I hope I answer your question with a long drawn. I hope I.
No. You answered the question, and you give me what I've been looking for. Um, I hear like a lot of counselors with candidates, period. Whether it's on the municipal level, the state level, the federal, but everyone talks about youth and what they want to do for youth. But I very rarely hear people talk about family and what can be done for families, because these youth are coming from families. I know in my household, there's not much you can do with my son without me being a part of it, or his
Right.
mom being an active part of it. So sometimes we speak on these young people as if they have no parents, as if they don't have grandparents or aunts and uncles or football, basketball, soccer coaches who play a critical role in in the development of their lives. So as a city councilor, I mean, does not aside from finding funds, what else can be done to make sure that we're addressing families, whether they be Black, white, Latino, Asian? When I was working in the mayor's office, I had an opportunity to work with Dr. Richard Chu from UMass and the 5 Asian communities. I don't know if people are aware that there are 5 distinct Asian communities in the
Right.
city. And they were talking about the plethora of social challenges that they have in their community. And if we think that the Black community is neglected, when you look at some of these communities and what they're going through and their complete lack of support because everyone overlooks them, what do we do I guess the question is, what do we do to make Springfield and the families that live here want to stay here? How do we attract new families? How do we make Springfield a better place? How do we get to the point where we're actually recognizing, families, the diverse collection of families that we have in the city of Springfield?
Well, first of all, I want to say the profoundness in that question, because nobody's ever asked this question, is very profound and is right on point when you talk about families. So I mentioned before that I was rites of passage facilitator, and
Yep.
one of the things that we did before we admitted the kid in the rites of passage is we had um, meetings with the families, 3-day retreats with the families to let them know what their child was getting into. Not only what their child was getting into, but the expectations after their child finished the program and what their role was to step up as well. So in order for you to do that, the parents had to go through rites of passage as they so they can understand, because a lot of times we deem the youth or the kid as an issue, and not understanding that the mother or the father could have issues too that's not being addressed. The elephant in the room is not being addressed. We
Right.
don't need more organizations like DCF coming in and attacking the family because they're unfit, because they whooped the kid and they're unfit. And they're unfit to deal with the situation. I'm distracted right now because my cousin is walking up to see my mom. um no, so they're unfit. I mean, to come in there as the government, to come in and room and deem um that everything they do is profound and stuff without them even dealing with issues. Matter of fact, I just had somebody who had the case, who I just have I just had somebody who had a case with a family. She whooped a child because the child was on soliciting or entertaining older men on the phone, and DCS came in and took the kids. And she's been without her kids for almost 3 months now. But they never once asked the mother if she need help. They just threw her in different programs, anger management programs, and this and all that. So one of the things, I mean, real back to your question and stuff, because I hate to rumble and mix it up. I mean, I'll distract a little bit. Is the family is absolutely the nucleus on what makes this thing go. If you're not family oriented and you're not looking at enhancing the family and services for the family, but also keeping the families intact, then that's another issue in the city of Springfield when things can go awry.
Okay. And I'm not going to keep you. So let me see. I think you answered all my questions. what strategies what can we do to ensure that the city of Springfield, I know you talked about researching once you get in there, something that Tracy Whitfield has done really well, and she can definitely use support to
Mhm.
make sure that the city continues to work in partnership with Black business organizations. We know in Mason Square, from the time I moved there in '94 to now, we've probably lost close to 50 businesses over the years. When they did the Boston Road, when they redid the Boston Road corridor from Boston Road all the way down to State Street, they eliminated all the parking for small mom and pop businesses that once existed, but they made sure that parking continued to exist for Mass Mutual and American International College. All the businesses lost their parking. What
Mhm.
can we do as a city council to make sure that those types of activities no longer continue to happen? Because we're still losing a number of Black businesses. They're not getting support from procurement. They're not getting support from community development. Um, Tim Sheehan's department, Department of Planning and Economic Development, when they have their annual vision board for the business community, it's like the Black community is never invited to the table. Black businesses are never even seen as a part of it. So, what can we do as a city council? How do you plan to push the mayor's administration, regardless of who becomes mayor this year, to ensure that they're continuing to work with Black businesses? So I don't think we can address crime without addressing
Right.
economic opportunity and economic empowerment. We all know that the crux of criminalized and deviant behavior is poverty. So if we're not creating those opportunities to make sure that we're tying in the Black business community, then we're not doing due diligence. In the North End, they made sure the Latino business community was a part of everything that happened in the North End. Granted, the Black community is not just in Mason Square. The vast majority of Black people do not live in Mason Square. We're all over the city. How do we fight to make sure that the Black business block, as a spokesperson, once you become a city councilor for the Black community and the city at large, how do we fight to make sure that the Black business community is included in conversations and brought to the table as stakeholders?
Okay. All right. So this is a loaded question. So I'm gonna layer this. I'm gonna go up from the bottom and I'm gonna go up to the top. So the first thing we need to do is to create a Black business resource center for Black businesses. One, and the reason why I'm saying that is because one of the challenges and issues that I have with Black businesses, if something happens to the owner or the person that is running the business, there's no one over to take the business. So what we need to do is go into the business. We need to make sure that their frame is there, their infrastructure is there, and their capacity is there, that they have all their paperwork intact. That's one. That's one of the things specifically for our businesses. Okay. Other businesses can come to help, but if they don't look like us, then first of all, then you don't receive the services because we're trying to build our businesses up first. Let us get our business first, then we'll offer. Maybe we'll hire somebody 5 years down the road and we'll deal with everybody else. But like you said, all the community is already doing that. Let's do that. Let's bring the infrastructure there. Let's make sure there's a 5-way window out, a 5-way window in. Let's make sure they have enough store and make sure the family's involved in the business. That's one. As far as the equity, we have to invest in the business. Like I said last night, the only city councilor I know that's even fighting and even talking about equity and equality when it comes to business is Tracy Whitfield. And I know you guys started the Associated Black Business Professionals for that particular reason. So
Absolutely.
we have these mechanisms in place that we really have to start supporting. I know you guys used to do a wonderful gala to raise money for the efforts to put it back into the community. So I hope that will come back again. And I will look at working with the business, the Black business Associated Black Business Professionals too. But that might not be enough sometimes. So we have to um talk to the individuals that's in these organizations. We have to create more resources, not one that you have to go downtown, or if you go here, right in their community or right where the businesses are. Also, as a city councilor, I have to go talk to these businesses. What do you need? What are you in danger? What is your forecast? Do projections and stuff like that for them. Maybe do a business scope on them to see, is this person in danger or lose? Because you never know. I mean, a fire could happen. Anything
Right.
could happen in that business. And, I mean, God forbid, I'm just, God forbid, I'm not forecasting it. Maybe a riot or something happens or is looted and they can't replace their funds. So anything can happen because we've seen across the country, there's things that happen. Um, but one of the concerns, like I said, that I started from the bottom is, people have businesses, and if, they'll send their kids to school, nobody wants to do that business. They don't want to keep the business, and it's a staple in the community. So therefore, the business closes, and then we have no legacy, and we complain a lot of time that the black business is. I mean, a lot of it is the family structure on who's going to continue this business. Somebody might not want to continue to have a store or a Jamaican restaurant or a soul food restaurant, anything like that. But we got to make sure that those businesses stay. And that's not all the businesses we have. I mean, we have, I see right, Losted, you got Dr. Katrina right there. I mean, with her businesses, we have to support those businesses. And then the last thing also that I want to add is we have to stop this not doing business with each other. We have to do business with each other. We have to support each other. You guys are doing a great job with the dine, and it's crazy because I done dined at about 5 of y'all restaurants, but I wasn't worried about getting a card. I was just dining and eating some of my people's food and stuff. And I live right
Right.
next door to Kai and Eli, so I make sure he bring me food all the time. But we have to the co-op between each other is very, very important. We have to support each other. We have to patronize each other. That's the biggest challenge too with black businesses, because you can put all these mechanisms in place and then we still have some, no support, or somebody go on Facebook and make a bad post on them. Next thing you know, everybody's not going to the restaurant, yada, yada,
Right.
yada. But the co-op with each other has to be stronger too. And then the last thing that I want to add is, I know you've tried this too, because when you do Dime Black, you do a black listing, but we need to have a black list. We need to have a black directory of businesses. So we know that what all service, and it needs to be a scope of what their business does. So when you looking, or you're looking for a mechanic, or if you're looking for a chiropractor, or you're looking for an accountant, there's that, circulate our dollars like the Jewish people do. That we need to just support them, because I'm telling you right now, D-Moss, if we
Mm-hmm.
really put that directory together, we can circulate our dollars amongst each other, and we don't need anybody else if we
So
really did that.
on that point, I just want to, just for any of our viewers, visit abbpofma.org. There is a business listing of over 300 Black-owned businesses. So the directory exists. It's on the association website. We haven't done a great job over the last 2 to 3 years to publicize that, but we're going to make sure that our board works on that. But there is an existing directory, and you're absolutely right. That needs to be promoted. People need to know that it's there year round.
Yeah, and
So
it's not just, and it's funny, you guys have Dime Black, but let's have mental health month, where if you need mental health, or you can referral mental health services, then the next month let's have chiropractic month. So we you can, and then the next service, let's have, you already got the Dime Black, but then let's have pediatrician,
we,
eyewear, we have all these doctors, all of this service, plumber week or plumber
So that
month.
would that would take all the existing organizations with a black interest to have to sit down and
Right,
caucus and discuss that, because we have to focus on
right.
business development. If we start focusing on everything, then we're so broad that we wouldn't be effective. So we have to focus
No,
on
no, no. I'm
individual.
not. No, I'm
But
not. I'm not saying. I'm not
no, I
saying
know
you
you're
guys.
not.
What I'm. Yeah.
No,
What I'm.
I know
So
you're
that
not.
could. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Because that could
simply
be.
I'm adding on
Yeah.
to it. That's all.
Yeah. Because that actually would assist you, because you guys are already the resource center. So that I mean, you guys are already referrals. So the resource center will, right, once again, in the areas where we need more business, the resource can go right up in there. So people can actually go in and get the referrals and walk out with a card or something, or walk out with a sheet or something.
Right. Okay. All right, so we're almost at time. So let's see. You're running for city council at large. Tell people why they should vote for you, and why you should be a strong consideration for them for the primary, so you can make it to the November, and hopefully beyond November. as a city councilor. Tell people why they should vote for you. What separates you from the pack?
My track record speaks for itself. On September 12th, I'm asking for your vote. Come out and vote Drew Keaton L. I'm here. Like I said, I'm a constituent. I'm a constituent going in with a title, and you are going in downtown with me. Once again, I'll be transparent. You can call me on my cell phone. Whatever business card they give me, everybody can call me on the same number. You can email the same place, and you know where to catch me. You can catch me at the Indie Soul Fest. You can catch me at the Nile if it's kicking. You can catch me at anywhere downtown, 1242 Main Street, at the office downtown. You can catch me all over the city, especially at events supporting what you're doing anyway. But I'm a people's person. I'm not a yes. I'm not going down there to side with a certain part of the city or political geographic that wants this to be this way or wants that to be way. I'm not swayed. I'm not easily persuaded. If I got to vote if I'm elected into office and I'm voting no on everything I don't think should get a no vote, then that's what you're going to get. Because I'm just one person. So, and I'm going to get on the social media and I'm going to tell everybody who voted this and who voted that. You're going to get all of that out of me. Okay. And I'm just going to say, but I do need your help. I do need people to vote for Drew Keaton L. And once again, let's do something different. So when I am elected, I want at least 6 or 7 people that come into the meetings with me. We're going to have different people come into the meetings with me. Come in. Let's do this. This is Springfield. I am Springfield.
Okay. That being said, then we are on with Drew Keaton L. He's running for city council at large here in the great city of Springfield, Massachusetts. And he's really encouraging folks to come out and vote, be a part of the process. Don't forget, voting is just one step of the political process. The most important part of voting is holding your candidates accountable. It's the political advocacy, the political involvement. That's what's really important. A lot of times they say that our ancestors died so that we could vote. And I'll be the first one to tell you that they didn't die so that we could vote. They died to ensure that we would have access to opportunity, to make sure that things were fair equitably all the way across the board. It wasn't just for a vote. They died so that we could live. We are here and we have to make the most of it. Not only should we vote, and that's, again, one part of the process, but we should be actively involved at all times. With that being stated, Drew Keaton L., thank you so much for coming on with me, man. I enjoyed this. It's been informative. I've learned a lot.
Listen, man, I want to thank you for giving us the platform and the opportunity. Although D.Moss claimed to fame, is he sitting over there in probably 90-degree weather, just chilling, not even Springfield. The brother cared enough to still give city councilors and mayor candidates a platform in the city of Springfield, one of the cities that he loved and raised. So I'm gonna name D.Moss the journeyman, because he's a new journeyman and stuff like that. But no, it's a lot, man. People leave here and they don't think about their city and they wouldn't even do this. Well, it's on to new ventures and on to new endeavors. But this brother's taking time out to bring platforms to everybody. So I really appreciate, and I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity. And I just want to say this. I got to say this because it's been bothering me, and I have a platform to say it. It's really a travesty in the city of Springfield that we got 21 people running at large. I was one of the first ones to put my name in. Not that nobody can run. Even if there was 80 people running, that's all said. And then we only have 2 ward races. When you have 6 ward races being unopposed, is a shame on the city. And certain people were told to not run against certain people in the city, which is a shame in the city. That's why the city is the way it is, because there's a lot of backdoor, a lot of deceivingness, a lot of connivingness, a lot of foolishness that goes on for people's own interest and gain. Because there should be, and I'm gonna make a vow of this too, even if I don't get involved in this no more, there should be no seat in the city of Springfield that's running opposed, because I don't see no no high authority, nobody is doing that much that they don't have a seat running the polls. And I just wanted to say that, D.Moss.
Well, I'm glad you got that off the chest, and I'm glad that we can offer a platform for you to do that. All right. Anything else you want to add before we call it a wrap?
Nah, man. I just, once again, man, you enjoy your day. I appreciate you, man. And is September 12th, man. Vote Drew Keaton L. September 12th. Vote Drew Keaton L. Not Andrew Keaton. Drew Keaton L.
All right. With that being said, thank you everybody for watching. We'll be airing this broadcast repeatedly so that everyone can watch it as many times as they need to make a better informed decision. All right, everybody. My name is D.Moss. That's Drew Keaton L, City Council candidate. And we're here for you. With that being said, enjoy your day.